What if the secret to your productivity had little to do with discipline and almost everything to do with safety? For trauma survivors, the workplace can subtly mimic the chaos of the past, triggering survival mode in ways that feel invisible to everyone else. But what if productivity isn't about pushing harder? It's about feeling safe enough to slow down. Today, we're exploring how trauma shapes focus, motivation, and success, and how small, science-backed shifts can help you rebuild trust in your body, reclaim your energy, and work without breaking yourself in the process. And later in this video, we'll uncover a powerful mindset shift that replaces guilt and perfectionism with peace, one simple word at a time. This is the Money Compendium, where we uncover the psychology, history, and hidden habits behind real wealth, both emotional and financial. If you've ever felt burned out, anxious, or like your drive comes from fear instead of purpose, this one's for you. Number 1. Redefine safety before productivity. Most people believe productivity starts with discipline, motivation, or a stronger to-do list. But for trauma survivors, productivity begins with something far more fundamental: the feeling of safety. When your nervous system still believes you're under threat, no amount of willpower can override it. The brain's first priority isn't efficiency or focus, it's protection. If your body senses danger, even subconsciously, your energy is automatically rerouted from creativity and problem-solving into vigilance and defense. That's why you might find yourself procrastinating, zoning out, or feeling drained after small interactions. It's not laziness, it's your biology trying to keep you alive. Even something as ordinary as harsh lighting, unpredictable noise, or a critical coworker can trigger old stress patterns. Before you can expect productivity to flourish, your system needs to know it's safe enough to relax. Start small. Notice which parts of your environment raise your tension and which bring relief. Maybe that's creating a calmer workspace, wearing noise-canceling headphones, or scheduling a few moments each hour to stretch or breathe. Each tiny act tells your body, you're safe here now. And when safety signals increase, your cognitive abilities, focus, problem-solving, and emotional regulation, naturally follow. You stop pushing through resistance and start working with your body instead of against it. True productivity doesn't come from force. It comes from trust. The trust that your body is no longer in danger, that you can slow down without something bad happening. Because when you feel safe, you don't have to chase clarity. It finds you. Up next, we'll explore how a single word swap can turn guilt into growth and silences that inner critic for good. Number 2. Replace should with could. If you live with trauma, the word should can be one of the most toxic triggers in your vocabulary. It sounds responsible. I should get more done. I should feel grateful. I should stop overthinking. But underneath, should is a weapon of self-blame. Every should implies you failed to meet an invisible expectation. It reinforces guilt, pressure, and perfectionism, all of which keep your nervous system on high alert. That guilt doesn't motivate you. It paralyzes you. It keeps you chasing worthiness instead of progress. The simple but powerful antidote is to replace should with could. This single word change transforms obligation into choice. I could take a break. I could speak up next time. I could rest before I burn out. Could opens a door instead of slamming one shut. It invites curiosity, flexibility, and self-trust, 3 qualities essential for trauma recovery. When you speak to yourself with choice instead of criticism, your brain registers safety instead of threat. This shift might sound subtle, but it rewires your internal dialogue over time. Instead of pushing yourself through guilt, you start guiding yourself with permission. You begin to notice that motivation rooted in compassion lasts longer than motivation rooted in fear. Neuroscience backs this up. Self-compassion lowers cortisol, improves emotional regulation, and boosts resilience under stress. So when you swap should for could, you're not just changing words. You're changing chemistry. Soon, the pressure to be perfect starts to fade. You become more present, more grounded, and far more effective. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because you finally feel safe to try. And speaking of safety, next we'll talk about how to shape your surroundings so your environment supports your nervous system instead of sabotaging it. Number 3. Curate your work environment like a therapist's office. Your workspace isn't just a backdrop for productivity. It's a mirror for your nervous system. For trauma survivors, even subtle environmental stressors can keep the body in low-level alert mode all day long. Harsh fluorescent lights, cluttered desks, or unpredictable noises may seem minor, but they continuously signal, "Stay ready." That's why it's worth treating your workspace less like a cubicle and more like a sanctuary. Think of how a therapist's office feels: calm, warm, predictable, and safe. Everything in that space, from the lighting to the seating, is designed to communicate trust. You can recreate that energy wherever you work, even in small ways. Start by paying attention to sensory details. What sights, sounds, and textures make you feel grounded? Maybe it's adding a soft lamp instead of overhead light, keeping a small plant nearby, or choosing colors that calm your mind instead of overstimulating it. These aren't luxuries, they're tools of regulation. Science shows that organized, predictable environments send safety cues to the brain, reducing cortisol and helping you focus. So tidy up your visual space, add soothing sensory anchors, a candle, a playlist, or a grounding stone to hold during stressful calls. If you can't change your entire office, change your bubble. A clean desk, noise-canceling headphones, or even a consistent morning ritual can create stability within chaos. Every bit of predictability you build restores a sense of control, a vital ingredient for healing trauma. Remember, your environment doesn't just affect how you work, it affects how you feel while working. When your space feels safe, your mind can finally stop scanning for danger and start focusing on creation. And up next, we'll look at how to stop burying your emotions and start scheduling them, the next step in turning stress into steady, sustainable energy. Number 4. Stop emotional suppression, start emotional scheduling. One of the most common and subtly damaging habits trauma survivors carry into the workplace is emotional suppression. You've probably learned to hold it together, to keep a neutral face even when your body is screaming inside. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that emotion meant weakness, that composure equaled control. But suppression doesn't make emotions disappear, it just delays them. Every unspoken frustration, every buried sadness, and every moment of swallowed fear stores itself in your body. Over time, that stored tension builds pressure, like steam in a sealed container. It leaks out in irritability, burnout, or emotional numbness. Those moments where you feel detached from everything, even your goals. The body keeps the score, and when it's not allowed to release, it finds other ways to speak, through fatigue, pain, or sudden anxiety you can't explain. That's why emotional scheduling can be life-changing. Instead of pretending you don't feel, you intentionally carve out moments to process what's there. 5 minutes to journal after a tough meeting. A short walk to shake off tension before your next call. Even pausing to breathe deeply and check where stress is sitting in your body, your shoulders, chest, or stomach, tells your nervous system, "I'm listening." This isn't indulgence, it's maintenance. You're training your brain to treat emotions as information, not emergencies. When you give them space, they lose intensity faster and stop hijacking your focus at random. Think of it like emotional hygiene, brushing your feelings clean before they harden into burnout. Over time, this small ritual rewires the trauma pattern that says feeling equals danger. It becomes feeling equals release. The more you practice, the more you'll notice energy returning. Energy that was once trapped in suppression. Because the truth is, emotions aren't interruptions to your productivity. They're part of the system that keeps you whole. And that shift leads straight into the final step, redefining what success really means when your nervous system is finally on your side. Number 5. Redefine success around nervous system regulation. For many trauma survivors, success and safety became intertwined long before adulthood. You learned that achievement earned protection, that staying useful, dependable, or impressive kept you out of harm's way. So you overperformed, not just out of ambition, but out of survival. Slowing down felt dangerous because rest once meant vulnerability. But that version of success is conditional. It relies on constant output and external validation. The moment you stop achieving, anxiety fills the silence, whispering that you're falling behind, that you're not enough. This is why so many high-functioning survivors look successful on paper, yet feel perpetually on edge, waiting for everything to collapse. the nervous system never learned how to feel safe without performance. True success starts when you flip that script. Instead of measuring worth by how much you produce, start measuring by how peaceful you feel while producing it. Can you finish a workday without emotional collapse? Can you rest without guilt? Can you handle challenge without losing your center? Those are the real metrics of healing, and they're just as measurable as profit or productivity. Every boundary you set, every moment you choose stillness over speed, sends your nervous system a powerful message. I'm safe even when I'm not achieving. Over time, that message becomes your new baseline. The more safety you create, the more your creativity, intuition, and focus flourish. Not because you push harder, but because your body finally trusts the process. When peace becomes the goal, productivity follows naturally. You stop chasing validation and start creating from alignment. Work becomes an expression of energy, not an escape from anxiety. And that's where the true wealth lies, the kind that fills you, not drains you. So the next time someone glorifies the grind, remember, the real flex isn't endurance, it's ease. The strength to choose balance when chaos feels familiar. Because peace isn't what you earn after success, it's what allows success to last. The truth is, healing and productivity were never opposites. They were meant to evolve together. When your nervous system feels safe, your mind doesn't just survive work, it thrives in it. You stop chasing success as a form of safety and start building safety as the foundation for success. Because real wealth isn't found in the numbers on your screen. It's found in the moments when your body exhales, your focus sharpens, and you finally feel calm enough to create. That's when you know you're no longer working against yourself. You're working with yourself. But what happens when the healing process goes deeper? When the fog, fatigue, or depression start to interfere with even the basics? In our next video, we'll explore practical, psychology-backed ways to manage depression while keeping your job and your sense of purpose intact. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you'll do this week to make your work feel a little safer, a little calmer, or a little more yours?